All right. So, from the last video I just put up, I had a mic and I got a mic, and I hope it's going to work. I hope it's going to improve the quality of the audio because that's pretty much what it is. The fact that I'm broadcasting myself is something just to look at is just so like it's like in the factor of I can't speak long enough to do a podcast because I got stuff going on. Really busy life sometimes with the family and like right now we just had New Year's and I've got a little of a hangover and you can tell in my voice. It was pretty family over and it was like a really nice New Year's night. So I got like a gigantuous something to clean upstairs. Like that's how I'm like you might hear my sister like in a second, but that's why I'm keeping it kind of short. So what I want to talk about today is really important actually because it's how we're going to go from here. Okay, so you're watching this video, and it could be in a certain sequence of time. It could be 20 years from now, right? So I have to sort of speak in a very different temporal sense. We could, everything that we're doing right now is being saved on a server somewhere else besides my computer, right? But that's with a company. And if that company continues to exist, mainly Google, YouTube, then this stuff will continue to exist. The stuff we need to do as and put up there in the YouTube community will continue to exist. That's very important because that means that it passes to into records in 100 years. It goes out of copyright anyway, and we're Creative Commons as also, so other companies can have it, and it needs successors to YouTube and to Google. And Google's going to be around for a nice bit. It's a big company with the beginning of evil. Do not be evil. Beginning of everything in regards to the algorithm started then. Do not be evil, and we owe them TensorFlow, and that's sorry, that helped get us to this point where we're now in an algorithm that's pretty much global, all right, and it's the main video algorithm basically, and but there's all kinds of podcasts. But this is kind of a sort of kind of you know two person to person, right? And we got to get down to like the idea of being popular in the present now. Once you do something, because what you're doing is you're publishing it, and you're publishing it for years and years to come. Okay, to the point where it might get that this is all saved somewhere out there. I'll get to that idea later, probably in another video, because it's a deep one. It's the electromagnetic broadcast idea that we're all broadcasting anyway, right? And this is just an artificiality mind thing for me to to know that people are out there listening to me, right? As when you talk in a room with people, the same thing. But you don't see these people, right? So this is so everything you do, even if it doesn't get one like, one little tiny comment, even if it's only seen by one person, that's an exponential person. That person is in time could be two people. That person could be then 1,000 people. Then it catches on, right? And historically, people are going to be studying in 1,000 years if we don't really mess up everything. you know, it's a good chance that people will be studying you temporarily existing. Because what happens is in history, certain things emerges, certain things don't emerge, certain collapses, but certain and it's a wave function. Okay, so we got to think of more in a temporal sense because what we are is an emergence. Okay, I hate when I say okay. So I understand your pain. For many years, that's going to be actually like a joke about a certain civilization. They'll get the deeper meaning of that. Let's just say, right. So we are an emergence, about 100 million years for regular, mammal life, and billions of years for life itself, and then like 100,000 years for human life. So we're getting minimal, right? And for like the current civilization, the current technology, we're just talking about years now, right? Things are getting shorter. You know, Ray Kurzweil talking about the singularity, the technological singularity. But it's not just a technological singularity. If we pull this off successfully, it's going to be an emergence into a new form of life that's probably galactic, okay? And it's going to have a huge effect on reality. You know, we probably can't travel between planets because of the light barrier, the speed of light barrier. We probably can't pass that, and we wouldn't like bring our physical bodies out in space. We might be really attached to the Earth. We're part of the Earth, so if we went out beyond our orbit, it would be longer. Like it takes like years to get there, and then when you get there, generational wise, the person doesn't live as long because they're more exposed to gamma rays. They're more exposed to random radiation that could occur, right? So as you go out, and you say, oh, we can seal it and stuff like that, but that takes energy because the universe is basically trying to get entropy, right? But one thing we can do is send out our electromagnetic frequencies, which we are doing. I'm doing it right now with Wi-Fi, as well as sending out the internet. I am not connected right now by a wire. I'm sending it through the air from my laptop to YouTube. And when I press that button, that's what happens. That upload button. And that goes through the air. And that's a wave. And the wave doesn't necessarily stop. You know, it keeps going. And that's what they're trying to figure out with dark matter right now, because it gets less and less dense, but it's still there. That complexity remains in the non-entropy of the universe. So no matter what, you really can't get rid of what I'm saying. You know, it always will continue on. So I know it's going to be short because I know my sister's going to be calling. We got a lot of cleanup to do. Wow, it was a really good party, you know, and of course that moment in time is more indented now because crazy things happen, right? You know when you go to a store and you order a candle, there's a sparkling candle. You gotta check it and see if it's sparkling or exploding. You know that actually, you know, on a candle. I wish to get a video of it actually, on a cake, birthday cake, you know. But it was that kind of thing. So what we have to understand about, especially in a social media sense, what we're doing is a permanent thing. Right? We are actually now having an effect on the universe by simply broadcasting. Because, you know, like the famous movie, I forgot what movie it is. Horrible. This is totally unprepared. But if it wasn't unprepared, it would be too prepared. Right? Because, like, I could be just reaching one person, but that one person could be a person that could change reality itself. You know, it's like, and keep in mind, I studied from different, I guess, gurus, I guess you call them. I'm not going to mention the name because, you know, some of them I have disagreements with now, right? The whole idea of spiritual nationalism, which I'll talk about later, you know. But again, I got a great respect for my teachers, right? From no matter what religion, belief they were from. I tried to get everything. I tried to, like, if I couldn't get a living teacher, I tried to search for a, you know, inspired teacher. And that's what all these writings, like, these are the original sources, but I also got Self That You Can't See that's got some of the more personal stuff in it, right? And of course, the autobiography of a yogi's there and all that stuff, you know. But we are in a state where right now politics is becoming it's all related to a fractal system, right? Countries' emergence and their interaction with these countries. I mean, you got to remember the main battle is between Islam and not Christianity. It's not Islam, Judaism, Christianity. It was more complex than that because Christianity is against itself, sort of that 1066 divide with the church, and you can see that with the the Russian Orthodox, but Russian society now, and the Roman society, Christian society, which also broadcast actually. Boop, went out to the New World, this disastrous stuff and all that, but it was Protestantism and Catholicism that emerged, and it sort of fought, and but you got to see history not as this static thing where you look at this period, this period, this period. You got to see it in a broader, really broad consequence. So we got to take politics and we got to put that in a historical, philosophical, mythological context, right? I'll just tell you that it's Zeus versus El. Okay, I'm gonna give a little bit away here now. El is the root of the God, of course. Allah, which is the Muslim concept of the one God, where it comes from the Aramaic, which is Allah. This is historical. It's like this is the words that the Prophet would have used, in Arabic. But he probably he didn't know Aramaic, but he probably heard. He probably heard. Well, he probably spoke vocally. He could have spoke vocally because he was a merchant in Syria, right? Which Aramaic would have been very big at that time, right? And because Aramaic was the language that was still used. And so, regards to that, our politics right now is sort of these forces are just kind of rustling up. It's these are based in language, based on different religions, different mythologies are still working on our narrative in our head, okay? And this is playing out into the future. So everything you do, every comment, like, or if you share this video, someone's like, "Holy shit, what the hell's going on here?" Then you're actually just putting force to it, just watching it, just keeping it to this point. I can actually see that, I can actually see. Well, I can't see the individual people who watched it, but I can see how long on average people watch the video, right? And I think, okay, but I'm not thinking of an insulted. I'm thinking of how do I? And of course, someone left a comment saying, "Get a mic." I gotta get a mic. Well, I can't be that cruel to them, But I'm not going to have a backdrop or anything like that fancy or graphics coming up here. I can do that. I can literally do that. I got OBS. I know the technology behind that. But then I have to prep it. And then I'll have to edit it. And then I'll have to spend a week doing that. Whereas this is a daily thing. Well, not daily thing, but it's more than a weekly thing. Right? You're going to get more. And in the summertime, you're going to get more because I'll be out probably doing some random vlogs outside. Right? So yeah, I'm not just a guy in the basement. So I got to get busy today. I got to do some cleaning. And just start existing, and don't worry about the present, because we got to see more temporal, because we got to see the huge picture of history and us, and it's circular.